Welcome to another edition of James Martell's Coffee Talk, where James, successful publisher, speaker, and author of Online Success for Non-Techies, talks frankly and openly with experts from within the internet marketing industry about strategies and techniques you can use to develop a successful online presence for your personal or corporate brand. Here's your host, James Martell.
Hey, is that Joshua here?
This is Joshua.
Hey, Joshua, James Martell here. It's good to, very good of you to join me today. Thanks.
Always a pleasure to talk with you, James.
Awesome. For the listeners that may not know who you are yet, let me just give you a little introduction. Joshua Sloan is the director of online marketing for oneandone.com. That's one-on-one hosting. That I believe is the largest web hosting company on the planet.
Yep, that's me.
So that's quite a feat, I must say, and it's a pleasure to have you on the line. I know the listeners are going to love what you have to say and share with us with making money with affiliate programs, and probably more specifically in your case, making money with hosting and
yes.
affiliate programs. Although I'm sure a lot of what you're going to be sharing with us can be crossover into other industries, because as you know, people are working in different industries as well. So I know you and I've had a chance to have many conversations. We've been chit-chatting back and forth. I think the first time you and I met would have been Commission Junction 2005. Is that right? I
believe that's true, although your reputation preceded you in my world by at least a couple of years ahead of that. I was an instructor and online marketer for a small private university, and used much of your advice and many of your strategies to offer insights into the world of affiliate marketing even prior to our meeting.
Wow, that's great. Well, thank you for sharing that. It's been a pleasure to meet you. I know you and I, we've actually had an opportunity to do some traveling together as well. You were kind enough to organize my participation in a couple of areas, actually a few areas. Two that really come to mind is the trip a couple months back when you were kind enough to have me flown to Germany to meet with Alex and some of the people there and get a tour of the data center, which we're going to talk a little bit later on, which is basically the server center where the hosting resides. So I think the affiliates are going to be interested in hearing that. And then then we all jumped on an airplane from Germany and we flew to Spain and took in the America's Cup yacht race, which
sailboat competition. Yep.
Yeah, a little sailboat competition where we got to sit in a spectator boat out in the Mediterranean Sea watching $10 million boats race. That was kind of cool.
It was probably one of the most spectacular affiliate prizes that I've ever been involved with, to take our top affiliates from U.S., Germany, UK, and France, and have them visit our United Internet one-on-one sponsored boat in the America's Cup. Definitely a fantastic trip, and we're happy to have you a part of that.
Yeah, it was spectacular. It's probably a great place for us to jump into talking about affiliate programs as it relates to one-on-one, because one of the things that obviously gives me a little kick in the pants from time to time, and I'm sure a lot of people is the contests and the different things that, it's nice to make the money, and we do that quite well, but it's also nice to get some of these perks. So maybe you could share a little bit about that contest and tell me just a little bit more about it. Because I know I was there and I had a chance to, chat with your guys, and there was 25 of them there, I believe, and you wined and you dined us for days. The whole thing was completely covered. It was, we could make an hour-long call out of it. We won't.
Yeah.
But it was spectacular in itself. So, but how did that come about? How did the affiliates get involved? Because the listeners, obviously, if they're thinking about potentially building an affiliate site around the hosting industry, a little bit of incentive, the type of contests and stuff that one-on-one.
Well, the U.S. affiliate program has only been up and running since the fall of 2004, And so we're still evolving the contest incentives, and the ideas we have range from I would say typical fair to midland to quite exotic and quite exciting. The America's Cup competition was I think one of our more exciting ideas. We took a 2-month period, and the top sellers, the top 3 sellers in the U.S., U.S., UK, and France, and the top 10 sellers in Germany, who sold the most amount of packages during this 2-month period, they won a expense-paid trip to Valencia, Spain, where we covered the flight and hotel, entertainment, sightseeing, and lots of wining and dining, as you said.
Yes.
And while the America's Cup, this is one of the first competitions one of the few competitions in many years that's it's been held in Europe. Most of the time, I think the American team has been the predominant winner of that race for many, many years. This was actually the very, very first race that Germany has ever sponsored in this competition. So this was, we're not necessarily under any delusions of grandeur in the sense of, expecting to win the race the first time we ever enter it, but like anything in life, practice makes perfect. And so this was a remarkable opportunity to share in a once-in-a-lifetime spectator type sport with our top partners, and also to build, create some special time where we could build our relationship with our top partners, and also to have our top partners from different countries share their experiences, not only with online marketing and affiliate marketing, but also their experiences with one-on-one. And I would say that it certainly accomplished our goal of rewarding our top affiliates and of continuing to reinforce our bonds with top performers, and giving them a international perspective on what they're doing and who they're doing it for. It's very easy to hear the world's largest and, have your eyes gloss over and not be quite sure what to make of it. I know in America anyway, it's not uncommon for any company to claim they're the world's largest or the world's number one. And so sometimes the North American audience might take that for granted. But as you said, your own personal experience, having viewed our commitment to technology resources in our German data center, it's quite impressive when you realize how serious we take our business and how serious we are about helping our affiliate partners gain new knowledge and maximize their earnings with our program.
Absolutely, and I can say that I've actually, having a chance to spend, roughly 4 days with the top 25 affiliates from one-on-one was you could just feel the wealth of information and to see how sharing people are. I know a lot of people came away from that, better affiliates even when they got there, and these are the top guys. So just to be part of an event like that was clearly something that people should strive for. Because
it's funny how many times affiliates will kind of operate in isolation. And they think they must be the only one in the world who's struggling with certain issues, or the only one who's trying to build relationships or monitor their campaigns or activities. And so sometimes just sharing that, having a space where you can have people who don't look at you crazy when you say, I'm an affiliate marketer, that can be a real strong reinforcer of what they're doing and why they're doing it.
Sure, and it's good to see these top guys too, A lot of people, especially those getting started or maybe have been around for a year or two, they have this perception that the top guys never have any struggles and they don't have any problems, and it's further from the truth. They all have, every one of us has our challenges and struggles from time to time.
Yeah, there's very few top affiliates that started out at the top.
That's right. Absolutely. Let's maybe shift gears a little bit here and talk about hosting as a topic, because invariably, when guys are getting started, obviously one of the first things that they need to do when diving into the industry, or maybe they're in the industry and they're already successful and they're poking around kind of thinking, well, maybe I should get another site going. And this whole idea of having to choose a topic, some people do it very naturally, some people struggle a little bit with it, and I can understand that because you want to get it right. So especially when you're getting started, and especially when you've got some experience. So this taking some time to figure it out is a good idea. Maybe you could share a little bit about the hosting market from the affiliate perspective, and I guess we're not only talking to the U.S. market, we're talking to a global market here, so we can kind of open it up a little bit. So maybe share with us a little bit about hosting.
First let me say that there are big differences in different markets. 1&1 is certainly a company that's one of these rare companies that took a highly successful European business model and transplanted it into the U.S. market rather than a U.S. company that transplants their business into Europe or Asia.
So it's a little bit reverse of what we're used to.
Yeah, it's a little bit different from what you normally hear about in business school or see in the business trade magazines and that kind of stuff. But so obviously there are a lot of similarities. Where hosting is about storage, it's about bandwidth, it's about value-added site add-ons, tools. It's about support. It's about there are some shared consistencies across different markets, but the expectations for pricing are very different. The amount of competition between companies is very different, and the amount of experience and competition between affiliates is also very different. In the U.S. market, I think we have one of the more developed internet usage populations, and in some ways there are, without being North American-centric, I can comfortably say that there are many trends, strategies, and behaviors which begin to be developed in the North American market, and then other parts of the world then come to those same strategies, techniques, or realizations at a later date.
Right.
The thing that I would say is most important is, you really want to believe in what you're promoting. It's good that established affiliates, they already have some experience with at least one web host. Most of them use domains or they have a website. And this does give them a point of reference when evaluating whether or not they would like to promote hosting products. So they're not necessarily as at a loss like somebody who doesn't have a website or is absolutely brand new to affiliate marketing.
Right. Because they already have some experience with the whole
Exactly. But even if you only have a little bit of experience or you have no experience, one of the things that, regardless of the industry that you want to promote as an affiliate, but one of the things that is absolutely essential to your long-term success is communication. Because whatever product or service you might be promoting as an affiliate, your ability to speak with someone inside the company who can let you know strong points, hot-selling products, upcoming offers, respond to needs for special creatives, things like this. I mean, communication, not just for an affiliate program manager, but for affiliates themselves, is a extremely important component to their long-term success. So one of the things we see as a consistent commonality across many of our very top-performing affiliates is not only their desire to communicate, but their willingness to communicate. So we have top affiliates who will call us 2-3 times a month, check in to get updates, to find out what creatives we're working on, what products we may be able to tell them about. Of course, sometimes there's things we're not able to release, but we can tell them to keep posted and call us back in a week, and we'll be able to give them more information. But that responsiveness of having somebody who really cares to get you accurate information. Nobody on my online marketing team would ever purposely give out bad or bogus information. If they don't know, they're going to find myself or somebody within the company who can give the accurate or correct or up-to-date information. So communication is key. The other thing we do see among top performers, and I think this is a good guidepost for future affiliates in the world, is that most of our top affiliates only promote one-on-one within the hosting vertical. or at very least, maybe one or two hosting programs.
Yeah, that's good to point out. That was actually a question I was thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, an affiliate who tries to join 40 different web hosting companies and promote them all equal is going to have a real tough time because features are always changing. Prices can change, although they don't change frequently with one-on-one. And trying to keep all of that information up to date is extremely labor intensive. So the very best of affiliates will pick a single partner within a single vertical, and they'll get to know that advertiser or that company very, very well. And so they really take a long-term view. They look for companies that they can establish good consulting and talking kind of relationships with. And when they offer an opinion or a review or a recommendation about a company, it's based in something more than just a company who has the promise of a high payout.
You bet. So you've seen, you obviously deal with hosting affiliates, all day long.
Yep.
And you've seen the affiliate sites that have, as you say, 40 different hosting companies on it.
Yeah.
When you see a page of content, now let's say somebody, how would the conversion rate be affected if you had, let's say, a nice promo for one-on-one, but then you're comparing it to say 2 or 3 other hosting companies? Do you see, obviously one-on-one wouldn't get all the sales, but overall, do you find that from talking to your top guys, they get a higher conversion rate by focusing on one hosting?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially people who are doing the affiliates who are doing paid search. If they're trying to tell a search visitor that these are the 5 companies that offer database hosting, it doesn't always help the conversion of a specific web host on that list. However, if they say these are 5 companies that offer database hosting, but this is what I think about this one particular company, that's definitely going to increase the conversion on that one particular company.
Right.
The more unique the content is, the more based in experience and personal insights and thoughts, the better the content will do.
Right.
As opposed to just taking megabytes this, gigabytes that, bullet points off our main website, and just regurgitating the same thing that the advertisers are saying on their own websites.
Right.
One of the long-term secrets that you talk about is creating unique value, unique and long-term value. That doesn't mean that you can just write a review and then walk away and for the next 5 years it's going to produce for you.
That's right.
But it does mean that you have to be honest with your visitors. You have to give real information and valuable content and information in order to increase your conversions. If, for example, you're using natural content and you're developing a page about one-on-one internet, obviously, if you put another company on that page, you're going to dilute the conversion potential for one-on-one internet.
That's right. Now, tell me, you've obviously seen a lot of very successful pages. Now, I'm not actually even talking websites in this case. I'm talking specific web pages. If you could maybe give us a picture of what you would say the perfect one-page piece of content would be to promote a hosting, or for that matter, any product, but let's say specifically to one-on-one. Ideally, what would you like to see on that one single page?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tough question. I mean, I absolutely like to see affiliate pages or microsites which have real contact information. It could be an email form, but there's some way for the visitor to interact with the author of that content.
Okay.
I like to see longer content, like yourself. I think, that a single paragraph is not necessarily enough information for somebody who needs to make a decision.
That's right.
About a product.
If you were to see a page then, so let's imagine the visitor just did a Google search, whether it be paid or natural.
Yep.
They make the click,
yep.
And let's say they're looking for a specific product. Give me a specific product that you would...
Well, for like a one-on-one product, I would say domains is a super hot product for us. And
okay, So on this page now, we're going to be promoting domains
right.
for one-on-one. What would you say that page should consist of?
Well, you have to kind of get yourself as an affiliate into the mind of the searcher. You don't always know what the trigger points or what the motivators are, but there are some safe assumptions. Obviously, you want to be able to tell the visitor what the price is.
Yes.
So if you don't put that one-on-one's domain prices start at $5.99, that's a big mistake.
Right.
You want to let them know if there are things about that product, in this example, the domains, which might be unique to this company. For example, the free gigabyte email account and free private registration and the 5-page WYSIWYG site builder. If you neglect to point out these unique features, again, you're kind of letting your audience down. Now, that's material you can get off our website. What you can't get off our website is what you, the affiliate, really think about this company or about this product. You, as an affiliate, you've bought domains. You know what it's like to find a good domain price. You know what it's like to deal with different kinds of control panels for managing your domains.
Well, and that's a good point, because as an affiliate, I'm pretty particular on what I like to see from a domain name company. And a lot of them, even still, they don't give you consolidated domains, so you get almost a separate account for each one.
Yeah, and
everything is in the same place. So
you can add multiple domains to a single account. That's right. And there are some people who choose not to do that because maybe they're reselling the domain, or they want to associate that domain with a separate hosting package where they can have statistics just on that domain. So there are reasons for managing your domains in different ways. But this kind of practical, pragmatic, honest, and that's capital H, honest opinion that isn't based on, doesn't have anything to do with the commission that you're earning on that product, that kind of content strikes me as seriously impressive, well thought out, and when presented to somebody who's in this decision-making process, will certainly add value to them. It's a minimal amount of distractions.
Yep.
You don't put 16 other unrelated products on the page that's talking about domains.
Yes.
You might make an upsell pitch where you say, this is great domain, great company, but you can get your domains for free if you buy hosting from them. That's certainly an intelligent upsell or cross-sell from an affiliate.
Yes.
But you don't want to put, web design software on the page that's promoting one-on-one domains. You don't want to put banner ads. You probably want to avoid the appearance of Google AdSense on your content-based pages. I know that content helps to sell and generate clicks on AdSense. I'm not opposed to AdSense all the time. But you ask me, and in a perfect world, I still much prefer a clean page where there's not a lot of blink, blink, flash, flash, distraction, and confusion.
Music to my ear. So you're saying maybe a nice, well-written headline, 2 or 3, 4 paragraphs of legitimate, honest opinion.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 sub-headlines. Most people on the web still to this day scan first with their eyes.
Yes.
And if what they scan looks relevant and important, then they'll go back and actually read the details. So good layout, crisp, clean fonts, no distracting, no more than 2 or 3 colors, I would say, even if we want to get real picky.
Yep.
To keep it relatively simple. I'm not opposed to the use of templates. I think templates can be great for people, but don't just take some other affiliate in the same industry and copy their template.
Right.
A consumer's going to smell that a mile away. Yeah, it's true.
Well, and we must, we know a lot of these industries nowadays, unfortunately, have got people out there writing bogus reviews of different things, and they hire people just to write reviews, and they're not legitimate. So it's good to hear that you say, this has got to be an honest opinion, and, there's still value in consumer review sites, but keep in mind that it can reduce the overall conversion of any single company that you place on that review site. If you put them all in one section, it also can make for an overwhelming amount of content that can be just as confusing as
showing not enough content if you're trying to describe, more than 5 or 10, companies. And then just from a practical management standpoint, it can be very difficult from an affiliate side to keep that content updated, and from a consumer side, once you've seen 3 or 4 or 5, 6 different hosting review sites, you start to scratch your head and go, who do I believe?
Right.
And if consumers really knew that affiliates are out there pushing their highest payout company to the top, regardless of what that means to the consumer, I think consumers would start to mistrust and distrust these review sites.
Absolutely. Content. Let's talk a little bit more about content. Let's you and I just have a little chit chat now about ideas for content for a hosting website. Now, you've obviously seen probably thousands of pages of content that have been developed. What would you say to somebody that was maybe brand new or just looking at the hosting industry right off the bat, as far as developing a website around, say, natural search? Let's go that road first. And I do want to talk a little bit about paid search too, but let's start with natural.
Well, if you're creating content based on experience, there's one of the easiest ways to create content is what I call the how-to. How do you pick a domain? How do you set up your email address? How do you pick a hosting plan? These kind of how-tos, when based in personal experience and personal insight, really can create value for a consumer that isn't sure. Maybe they're ready for the hosting, but they don't know what to expect in the process. So how-tos are a great thing, especially when they're based in personal experience and personal insight. There are, I guess, what I would call definition-oriented content. What is web hosting? What is a domain name? What is a database? What is a WYSIWYG site builder tool? So
this information, this is invaluable to people because I train people on this a lot. And the average person out there on the internet, or the average person in life, period, they are still confused or may not even be aware. They don't know the difference between a domain name and a hosting package. So
how they relate to each other, yeah,
how they relate to each other, or what a DNS is, like what a domain name server is and how it works. So people that are just
that's the nice thing about the hosting industry is you can pick a favorite topic. Let's say you just bought your first domain name. You write about that experience, how you chose it, where you went to, what you thought about the experience, the process, what you liked, what you didn't like. But obviously, in that process, you're going to be exposed to things like DNS or domain name server, hosting plans, and those make great, beautiful, keyword-rich hyperlinks to other opinions or insights that come from your experience.
Yes.
So, typically, any question that you have that you answer yourself or experience yourself, anybody should be able to create at least a page worth of content out of that.
Yes.
And if you do it with the intent of helping some anonymous person, maybe, picture it as your grandmother or your cousin or something, you're creating this content to help them so that it's even easier for them in the process. You're going to see potential to do this with other keyword or topic or product-related phrases in the process. So,
you bet. I think it was just shifting gears a little bit again. You'd mentioned to me earlier that 1&1 has 22 or 23 different products.
24 different products.
24 different products. Okay.
Yeah, in our industry, it's very rare to have a company that has more than, say, 6 or 10 products. I think one of our competitors has 13 total products in which their affiliates can earn. So, the fact that we have more or as many, I would relatively comfortable saying more products than anyone in our industry, gives a very broad-based source for that content. So maybe somebody who's bought a domain and set up a basic website, they may not know what dedicated servers are all about. And it's better not to give fluff. I mean, don't dance around the issue. If the word server comes up in your content and you feel like you need to create something, be honest. Tell your visitor, I have not purchased a server, but I've looked at their prices, I've looked at their features. I think I understand some things, but I might not understand everything about servers. I, as a consumer, am going to respect you for telling me something honestly than just making it up.
Yes.
But whether you're a highly sophisticated technical person who can describe and write about dedicated servers, or whether you're an entry-level person who feels more comfortable talking about domains and basic web hosting, or whether you're a designer who just has experience with offline site builder tools and online site builder tools, don't just make things up. I mean, be honest with your audience, and your audience will always respect you for doing that.
You bet. One of the things I've found, too, when you do get into some of these areas that you may not be too familiar with, with Elance just a click away, there is people that are available, writers, technical writers that, know all about this stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that's typically what I would do if once I've shared my opinions and I've got that part of the site fleshed out. If I really wanted to, expand upon it, just to simply post a project over at Elance, even just to see what kind of bids would come in.
Yep.
For example, last night I put some. Oh no, it wasn't related to hosting. It was actually related to a couple other things I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
Not even knowing if I'm actually going to go through with the project, I decided to post a couple of potential projects on Elance just to see who was going to be bidding, to see if I could find the right person to do the task. So same with a topic like hosting. What I would do is come up with a nice little writer spec. What I'm looking for is a technical person who understands the hosting industry intimately, and who can help me to brainstorm and come up with some really good quality content.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would agree that if you're a good designer, it doesn't mean that you have to be a good content writer. However, even if you outsource the creation of content, you better be comfortable with the content that you're publishing. I mean, you wouldn't publish something that you hadn't read through and understood, because, somebody could come to your website and write you an email and go, I didn't understand this section of that article. And if you've never read that article, or you haven't, discussed that content with the copywriter or content creator that you choose, it's going to be an awkward moment for you, for sure. So you don't have to be an expert at everything to produce content, but you have to have a basic understanding of what that content is selling, and the value that it brings to the reader.
Sure. Well, and another thing that I would do on that is, if I didn't have all the answers, which, obviously I don't, a good opportunity for me to pass them from my site to yours, the hosting company. So if they need more information, click here and head over to 1&1, who's got a great customer service staff, and feel free to give them a phone call and get your questions out.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
There's always a great way to do that. So as far as, advice to a new affiliate, somebody that's just getting started, anything that comes to mind? You've talked a little bit about communication and then, calling, picking up the phone. I know Jesse probably handles a lot of the calls coming in. Jesse was your affiliate manager?
Yeah, Jesse Bowman is our affiliate manager.
He's a great guy. I've met him at a number of conferences. I think he's going to be down at Commission Junction University next week.
Yes, he'll be there. Yep.
That'll be great. You'll be there as well?
Yeah,
So, but if anybody has questions regarding the affiliate program and, getting up to speed on building a successful presence online in the area of hosting, he could pick up the phone and give you guys a call.
Absolutely.
Same with content creation. I guess you could sit down with somebody like Jesse over the phone and go through different ideas for brainstorming. Yeah,
I mean, we could certainly get them. One of the first things we would do is try to find out, well, what level of experience or knowledge do you have with the hosting industry, and work from your strength. Work from what you know, what you've experienced. This is true of whether you're optimizing a paid search campaign, whether you're managing multiple online marketing strategies. You really always should work from a point of understanding or a point of strength, and then move in, optimize from that standpoint your activities and your campaigns, and then move on into the uncharted zones of experience and knowledge.
Paid search. Let's move over to that for a few minutes. It's a topic you have a lot of experience with, obviously, dealing with affiliates.
Yeah.
Typically, in the paid search area for hosting,
yeah.
does one-on-one supply the keyword list, or do you prefer the affiliates actually go out and develop that themselves?
We do periodically have affiliates who will send us like an idea list or a starter list to work from. We'll guide them towards what we feel are the better traffic producers, and obviously we do some paid search, so we're not able to reveal all of our own keyword knowledge that we have. However, we're not going to steer them in the wrong direction. If we see a dog in their keyword list, we'll say, this may cost you way too much money compared to the conversions you're going to get. And so we're honest in that sense. We have been known to recommend there are various good keyword research softwares and services out there to evaluate before you even begin bidding what words are getting traffic, and you've heard the phrase, James, the long tail theory. Almost always we will recommend that paid search affiliates, especially the less experienced ones, work from the long tail up into the head. And for those who aren't real familiar with that, these are the low search volume words, which there's not a lot of search queries for, but they're typically highly targeted. They are typically better converters, and there's typically not as many competitors because large-scale competitors focus on the head of the search volume where all of the extremely high traffic is located.
Yes.
But for most people, when optimizing on a limited budget, working from the bottom of the search query list, from the low search volume words on up, is the best way to start.
Yes.
Now, the beautiful thing for affiliates like your students who prefer and are more comfortable with the production of natural content is that the experiences that one gains in the field of paid search are the exact strategies for success in content optimization.
Yes.
Would you, James, rather have a first-page natural listing for the word web hosting, or let's say more specifically for the word one-on-one, versus a expensive paid keyword for web hosting or one-on-one?
I'll take.
I think you would agree. Most people would agree. I'll take the natural content position any day.
No question.
But the way that you can learn to develop natural content is to take the knowledge that you have about paid search. You already know, based on testing, based on research, based on the information that you have, you already know what words, phrases are driving the sales, are driving the traffic for that topic. So the knowledge that you have about traffic based on your paid search is great knowledge to use as you branch out into natural content, because perhaps you have a very expensive keyword that you value a lot, but you keep seeing the cost of that keyword rise and rise and rise. Well, if you really like that keyword and you're convinced that that's an important part of your future, augmenting your paid search with the production of natural content around that topic or keyword will eventually help you to slowly lower your paid search investment, and perhaps even replace your paid search investment with an equal or greater amount of sales generated through natural content.
Yes.
Now,
of course, there's more profit in that for the affiliate because they're not having to pay.
Exactly. You're not having to put the investment in money, but everything takes an investment, and even content is an investment. At the least, it's an investment in time and thinking.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that in the manual, I have the good fortune of running into a guy named Ed K. Smith from Perth, Australia, who a student of mine in the natural side, and basically I'm almost a student of his on the paid side. He was kind enough to develop a 40-page booklet for us, because he's a paid search expert that is available to readers of the handbook. So for those listeners who may not be to that point yet,
yep.
There, once you get into the back step 8 of the manual, you'll find that there's that 40-page manual there for you to dig in and start at the bottom of the list, as you've so generously shared. That's a beautiful idea.
Well, there's a lot of reasons why people gravitate towards natural search, towards the paid search, because you can very quickly say, I spent $100 or $1,000 and I received $100 or $1,000 back. So, calculating your return on investment just from a sheer mathematical standpoint is a bit easier with the paid search. With natural content, your investment is one of time, and how you value your time can be different for different individuals. How you analyze the performance metrics, visits to clicks, clicks to sales, you can put mathematical analysis to it. You can apply, standard return on investment models to natural search, but it's just a little bit different. And obviously, if your main website is about your pet dog, hosting content may or may not be the most valuable for that website.
That's right.
However, if you find that your dog website is really hugely popular and people are always asking you, well, how did you pick your domain, or how did you build your website, then in that case it might make sense to include a hosting affiliate on that personal, pet dog site.
You bet.
But there are risks associated with both paid and natural strategy as well. I don't think there's as much financial risk involved with content or natural organic search strategies, but obviously if you're paying somebody to help you develop this content, you want to make sure that content's unique. You don't want to just be regurgitating or recycling, the same article that 600,000 other websites already posted 7 months ago.
Sure.
And you had to pay $300 for that.
Definitely.
There's always some risk associated with any marketing campaign or strategy.
And with any business that we're getting into.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just the nature of the beast and life on the net.
But with good planning, you can try to minimize some of your risk in any strategy.
Absolutely. Now, I can see we're down to about 60 seconds here.
Okay.
Maybe you could, if you got anything, that you'd like to share, anything else come to mind just as we wrap up, maybe for a new affiliate or somebody that's just getting started?
Well, reinforce the communication. When you pick a company to work with, whether it's one-on-one or any other industry, absolutely establish communication, establish good communication, frequent communication. And if you're particularly inclined to save money on your hosting and domains, and you're wondering, well, why is James talking about this company one-on-one? Please do visit jamesmartell.com and see what James has to think about us. You've joined us recently as a partner, and for that we're hugely grateful. And I think that once your audience hears that you have some confidence and faith in a company like One-on-One, that should help them to feel better. But certainly any questions they might have about our company, about our affiliate program, they can email emarketing@1and1.com, and we'll be happy to get them a reply.
That's great. Well, Joshua, you've shared with us some great information. I want to thank you for that. I know you've provided a lot of great value here. And,
well, I hope your listeners will continue to follow each and every affiliate buzz and apply the hard-learned and serious lessons of the Affiliate Marketer's Handbook.
Oh, thank you for that. All right, Joshua. We'll be in touch, and we'll definitely see you at Commission Junction University next month. I look forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for the opportunity, James.
You bet. Thanks, Joshua.
Bye-bye.
To learn more about James Martell, the School of Internet Marketing, and how you or someone on your staff can quickly and easily learn how to develop a successful online presence for your personal or corporate brand, visit theschoolofinternetmarketing.com. That's www.theschoolofinternetmarketing.com.